Imagine this: 80% of global language learners are studying English. That's 1.5 billion people. Sounds impressive, right? But let's flip the script. Only 6.4% learns French, 1.3% Mandarin, 1% Spanish, 0.8% German, 0.2% Japanese, and more than 0.1% Italian. Let's put this into perspective. Mandarin, the most spoken language in the world, barely makes the cut in the global language learning. Meanwhile, English sits on its linguistic throne, dictating the rules of business, communication, and education. But is this really trying for global unity, or is something being lost in translation? Take Russia, for example. Despite English has been prioritized in schools and universities, only 15% can speak it fluently. Um, Meanwhile, languages like Azerbaijani, Turkish, and Chinese are spoken by only 3% each. So I ask you, is English really the universal language we assume it to be, or are we just cutting a linguistic monopoly? The truth is, English has not spread as a universal choice, rather as economic necessity. Countries are not choosing English because it's the best language for communication. They are choosing it because it's a language of global markets, higher education, and power. But at what cost? Are we truly connecting, or are we just forcing the world into speaking English mode? But let me step away from the numbers for a moment. I want to take you on a journey, my own journey with language learning. Um, I studied English, Korean, German, and Arabic, and through this experience, I realized something. Language is not just about communication, it's about power, identity, and the invisible walls we build between cultures. Let me take you back to my childhood. Before every trip my family took, I had a habit, an unusual one for a child. I would start learning the language of the country we were about to visit. Before going to Spain, I picked up Spanish. Before visiting Bulgaria, I learned Bulgarian. No one told me to do it. I just felt like I needed to. But why? Why would a child without any pressure feel the urge to learn a new language, just to visit a place for a short time? Looking back, I realized it was curiosity. As children, we don't see the language in terms of status or power, we see it as a bridge, as a way to understand and to be understood. But as we grow up, we start to see language differently. Some become valuable, others become irrelevant, and more often than not, we accept this hierarchy without questioning it. When we say global citizen, what language do we imagine them speaking? Probably English. But why? Who decided that English should be the golden ticket to opportunity? And more importantly, what do we lose when we accept this without question? How many of you have studied a language other than English? How many of you gave up because you were told English is enough? We often hear that English connects the world, but have you ever thought who gets left out of this conversation? What happens to the cultures, the histories, the ways of thinking tied to other languages when they're treated as optional, while English is mandatory? Language is not just about words, it's about thoughts. The way you speak shapes the way you see the world. The way you construct sentences, the way you describe space, time, and emotions, it's all influenced by the language you use, and when one language dominates, we all lose something. What do we lose because of this? Right now, every 2 weeks, one language disappears. Thousands of indigenous and regional languages are at the risk of extinction, taking with them unique ways of understanding the world. Multilingual education is declining. Many schools focus on only in English proficiency, leaving other languages to fade into the background. Russia is one of the most multinational and multilingual countries in the world, with over 190 ethnic groups and more than 270 spoken dialects and languages. Yet English has been prioritized over regional and indigenous languages, and other global languages like Chinese and French have seen a decline in education. But Russia has a chance to take a different path. What if we strengthened our regional languages? Expand bilingual education programs in Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, and Yakutia. Promote media, books, and digital content in foreign languages. What if schools prioritized true multilingualism? Offer German, Chinese, Korean, and Arabic as serious alternatives to English. Implement immersive programs where students study other subjects in foreign languages. What if we changed our attitudes about language learning? Encourage people to learn a friend's native language, whether it's Tatar or Chechen. Celebrate multilingual role models in business, politics, and science. The problem is not English itself, it's English dominance at the cost of linguistic diversity. The more we prioritize one language over all others, the more perspectives we lose. These small shifts can change the way we see the world and how we connect on one another. Language is more than a tool, it's a worldview. And when one language dominates, we all lose something. So, I ask you, what would happen if we stopped assuming English is enough? What would happen if we embraced linguistic diversity not just for the sake of communication, but for the sake of understanding? Imagine the doors we could open not just for ourselves, but for generations after us, because the world is too rich in voices to let just one define the conversation. Sometimes, even the smallest effort to connect on someone else's language can mean more than 1,000 words in English. And before you say that English the only language worth learning, think about your own community. It's time to break the status quo. One word, one language, one conversation at a time. Thank you.